welcome back to Matt's Monday Morning Podcast. I have a guest today.
What's up, guys? Name's Nick.
Yep. We are actually not where we're supposed to be right now. It's a secret. So if somebody storms in and they're like, "What are you doing in here?" That's why.
Yeah, fucking breaking into shit now.
Breaking and then whoa. Hope nobody opens that door.
It's locked.
Good.
If somebody starts pulling on it, we better tail it out of here.
Right. Or just duck. Get on the ground.
Get on light, so.
Anyway.
What's up?
What's up? This is an awkward first minute.
Yeah.
But you said that you could debate some things that I said in the first episode. So what, got on your nerves?
Mainly, the religious shit you were talking about. I mean...
there's, 3 different types of religious people.
Yeah. There are a lot of... Don't get me wrong, I agree with you on a lot of it. A lot of religious people are assholes.
Mm-hmm.
That's obvious. But there are those people out there that are, they're religious and they're not assholes and they're actually pretty chill.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, not to be narcissistic, but look at me, for example.
Right.
Even though I am still an asshole, not an asshole religiously.
Right, you're a good example of a good religious guy. I'm a good example of a good liberal.
I fucking hate most liberals.
Yeah. You know the SJW thing
Nope.
that's happening? Social Justice Warrior.
Oh, yeah.
That's an insult nowadays. It's
Yeah.
USJW. I get called that sometimes on the internet.
I mean, most liberals do.
Yeah.
Because you guys are liberals.
But, I hate radical feminism just as much as conservative guys do.
Yeah. I mean, the whole feminist march thing,
Yeah.
everything that they were marching for involving rights, they already have. It's
Yeah.
it was a waste of time, I think. But, I mean, they did have a point. I mean, yeah, maybe Donald Trump's not going to be the best president ever, but still, you got to accept that shit.
He's definitely not going to be the best president ever.
You can't say that right now. He's only been president for 7 days?
True. He could just turn everything around, but I don't know.
I mean, look at the facts here. 7 days, and he's already increased jobs. He started building a wall.
Mm-hmm. Which I think is kind of weird.
And I mean, yeah, he has done some bad stuff, like the whole pipeline and shit, but...
Yeah, that made me kind of mad. Building a pipeline through somebody's sacred land.
Yeah.
How'd you feel if I built a pipeline through, the river in your backyard?
You also gotta think...
Without your consent?
There's already an oil pipeline there.
Right. An oil pipeline's leak.
Yeah. And it's actually closer to the surface of the water than the one they want to build is going to be. So I don't see what everybody's problem is there.
They probably don't want the one that's already there either.
Yeah, probably want that destroyed, but...
How do you remove an oil pipeline that's already there?
You gotta run all the oil, you gotta run what's left of the oil in the pipeline all the way through, and then you can dig into the pipeline, tear it out, and then you probably have to rebuild a new one.
That makes sense.
Around it. But I mean, you're a liberal, I'm a libertarian.
Mm-hmm.
We share some views, but we definitely differ on a lot of our views.
Yeah, how do you feel about, drugs? Because I don't know what's going to happen to pot now that Trump's elected. I don't know what he thinks about it.
I mean, I definitely think pot's going to legalize around the United States, no matter if Trump wants it or not.
Right, because the states want it.
Yeah.
For the most part, majority.
Most of the states want it, that's a definite thing. I mean, Maine's already got it, Colorado's already got it.
Right.
I think a couple others already
California.
have it, but I'm not sure about those.
California got recreational, I think, this time.
Yeah. And, I mean, I definitely don't think things like heroin and cocaine are going to become legal.
But there's some, radical libertarians I like to call them, who think that all drugs should be legal because you should have the freedom to do whatever you want to your body, even if it harms it.
Yeah, but you also gotta think, there are a lot of stupid people out there.
Yeah.
And, I mean, this is certain libertarian views, and I'm kind of borderline Republican, borderline libertarian. I'm on the borderline between those two, but, like, responsible people shouldn't, like, they should know better than to do stupid shit like heroin
Right.
and cocaine and shit that they can get addicted to by the snap of their fingers.
Good point. However, like, people get waned into it by, like, prescription drugs.
Yeah, and I definitely think a lot of prescription drugs, I mean, a lot of companies that make medicines fuck with it. They want
Yeah.
to make it addicting, so you keep on using it.
It's a profiteering
Yeah,
thing.
it's what people do with tobacco. It's what tobacco companies do nowadays.
Yeah.
They put fucking, what is it? Not menthol. I can't remember what it's fucking called, but they put shit into the tobacco that makes it addicting.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, tobacco.
Nicotine's addictive, I think.
Yeah, nicotine's what I was thinking of. They put nicotine in tobacco, and that's super fucking addictive. I mean, for fuck's sake, tobacco by itself is addicting.
Yeah.
Smoke. Just adding nicotine to it isn't going to help that.
Marijuana's not addictive.
I mean, you know, marijuana physically and it isn't addictive. THC is not an addictive drug.
Right.
It's just a lot of people choose to smoke things like blunts, and blunt papers are made from tobacco, which the mixing of the tobacco and the THC causes it to become addicting.
Right.
Which is why, honestly, I don't think people should be able to use blunts. Like, smoke blunts. It's my only thing about pot that I disagree with is blunts.
No blunts.
Blunt papers.
I mean, you just use a bowl.
Yeah, you can use a bowl, you can use a bong, you can use a fucking joint for fuck's sake. Just don't smoke a blunt.
But, yeah, the marijuana thing won't actually change
Yeah.
a lot until it's legalized federally,
Yeah.
because the states can do whatever they want, but federally is like a state police could still arrest you for possession.
Yeah, which I find completely fucking retarded.
I don't think he would in Maine or Colorado.
Yeah. I mean, you gotta think, though. So many scientific, like, experiments have proved that THC does almost nothing to your fucking body other
Right.
than the temporary high it
It's
gives
just
you.
psychoactive.
Yeah.
And the medical stuff is not psychoactive.
Yeah. I mean...
The 2 drops under the tongue thing, it's not psychoactive.
Yeah. It's... The only... I'm a Republican, I'm even going to admit this. A lot of Republican presidents have spoken against things like marijuana, saying it's the devil's lettuce.
Yeah, for different reasons too. Like
And
Nixon.
honestly, it's just called cannabis. The only reason people call it weed and marijuana nowadays is because Richard Nixon and his FDA, the
There's a
people
guy
appointed
named-
to the FDA.
Yeah, there's a guy named, I think his name was William Randolph Hearst.
Yeah,
And he ran like paper companies, and he didn't want paper to be replaced with hemp.
yeah,
So he created the whole marijuana, like, reefer madness propaganda.
yeah. And then once the FDA heard about it, the paper companies tended to pay them off, and they would put out bad propaganda about marijuana, or cannabis as I should call it, because marijuana was a name that the
Right.
FDA gave it to make it sound bad.
And they were saying there's this new drug called marijuana, and it's like the Mexicans are smoking it, and it's making them rape your wives,
Yeah.
your wives, and stuff like that.
It's just...
And people didn't know the difference between hemp and marijuana. Like, people thought they were completely different things.
Yeah. Because people are stupid. A lot of people... One thing I definitely do hate about people is they choose to be ignorant. I hate
Yep.
people who choose to be ignorant.
Like, ignorance is bliss. I'm just gonna bury my head in the sand like an ostrich.
Yeah.
I call them the ostrich brigade sometimes.
Yeah.
Lots of far left people tend to do that
Yeah.
about facts. Like, oh, I'm just not gonna list the facts.
Yeah. A lot of, like... There's a lot of fucked up things that the government has done, because government is fucking honestly corrupt.
Totally.
Government is corrupt. I definitely think that without government there would be anarchy, which wouldn't be something we'd want, but without government there would be, but also without government there would be harmony.
Mm-hmm. Maybe.
Because corruption wouldn't be a thing.
There's lots of different levels, like, of that belief system of, like, taking away government and making government smaller. Like,
Yeah.
there's total anarchists, and then there's, like, minarchists.
Yeah.
And, like, libertarians kind of don't want government to have control of a lot of things. So I think they're, like, the
Yeah.
highest level, like, or the lowest level.
I mean, honestly, I don't agree with. Democracy. I think democracy is probably the stupidest form of government ever. You shouldn't like.
Well, it's complicated.
Yeah, there are certain things you shouldn't give and put into the hands of the people. There are just certain things you shouldn't do that with. One of them, for example, I believe is military. I definitely think that. Honestly, citizens shouldn't get a say when it comes to the military.
I think that, and this is an idea I've heard, that politicians should be, like, required before they vote on a war to, like, send a relative over if the war is voted on. So then they have a dog in the fight, and they're not just sending our kids and our brothers and sisters to go do it.
Yeah. I mean, that's one thing I definitely hate about liberals is their military views.
Well, I mean, anti-war is kind of my stance. I don't like interventionism.
I mean, I definitely am a pro-war person. I definitely think war is something that's always going to be there, and it's always
True.
It's something that we're never gonna be able to put aside. That's why world peace. The only way you're gonna get world peace is by world destruction.
World destruction, or as Alex Jones would say, world government. That's what he's afraid of.
World government. Yeah, world government is world destruction. That's what it is. I mean,
I kind of think that one person being, like, the president is already too much.
yeah.
It's honestly kind of dumb. This election season kind of made me think that, like, it's kind of stupid how we put so much emphasis on this one position, and it's just one dude.
I mean, I definitely think a monarchy is the best way to go. I definitely think
You think so?
But it would have to be like a specific built monarchy. Like, what I believe is, and I've designed this, I don't know if anybody else has thought about this, but I've designed a way that a monarchy could work very well. If you just throw in like a pinch of oligarchy here, throw in a pinch of like a democracy there, and stuff like that, you could make you can't say perfect government, but a well-built government. Because if you have a monarch, a major monarch that would have control over things like military, for example, one thing I believe that should be only government run. But there's also those things like taxes, which maybe, I don't know, like a royal family that wouldn't be blood related. That's one of my things. That the royal family would not be blood related.
So no incest.
Yeah. No, like nobody in the royal family would be blood related.
No incest,
Actually,
no relation.
they can get, if they're married, yeah, that's fine, but their kids wouldn't be, like, once their kids are born, they wouldn't become part of the royal family. Everything except the monarch in the royal family is going to be elected in by the people.
Okay, so it's kind of democratic.
So yeah, you'd have to the royal family would be elected in by the people, but the thing about the monarch is they would choose the next monarch because they'd appoint a couple people as advisors.
Mm-hmm. That was weird. Why is somebody just walking really slowly? Yeah, shine the light over there for a second. They're not in here.
It's weird.
Alright, let's continue.
Anyways, I definitely think, like, the royal family would be elected in, but the monarch or the king or queen, it can be either gender. No one gives a fuck. It can be either gender, the monarch, but the monarch would pick two major advisors, and throughout his, like, being king, the advisors would advise them on things to do, and the king would kind of be a almost master to an apprentice type thing. He would teach them which is the best way to run the monarchy, and as he, like maybe in his will or on his deathbed, he would choose one of those two advisors he appointed and make them the next monarch out of the royal family.
I've never heard that kind of philosophy before.
But the entire royal family would have to be voted in by the people, and there would be a separate, and this is where the pinch of oligarchy comes in, there'd be a separate group of people that would mainly be the rich, which would be the High Council, which would kind of be like our judicial system.
I don't know how I feel about that.
They would they wouldn't even be able to like make laws. They would just be like, so yeah, this law kind of counteracts another law, so this is against like our basic fundamental rules. This law breaks those rules, and they would be the ones to be like, no.
I mean, I kind of like the whole like free flow of ideas, kind of like people are free to disagree and debate, and that's kind of how things are supposed to go in democracy. But the thing about the U.S. currently is it's kind of oligarchic. This is a Bernie Sanders point, where like the rich and the corporations and the rich politicians, like the career politicians, control a lot of stuff. Yeah. So it's kind of like an oligarchy that we live in. It's not really a true democracy.
Yeah, I mean, like even if you look at our party system right now, the fucking Democrats are owned almost entirely by one person, and Republicans are owned by fucking oil companies.
Yeah, the two-party system I'm not in favor of. I say, vote your conscience, truly. Don't just think there's two choices. Yeah. It pisses me off when people say people who voted for Gary Johnson and Jill Stein are the reason why Donald Trump got elected. Because if you look at like a pie graph, there's like small slivers of that. Yeah. So it's all, number one, it's false. Number two, it is a bad way to think about the elections, because you should be able to choose any other choices you want. Because if everybody voted, or if the majority voted for that person, they would win. It's not like it's a hopeless thing.
Yeah, I mean, but you also got to think, a lot of those parties, like libertarian parties or green parties, a lot of people don't know about.
Right,
which is a sad thing.
The reason why is because all the money's in the Democrats and Republicans, so they get all the media, they get all the advertising. And you notice how CNN could not stop running Trump stories? Yeah. Like, they ran every single thing he said. Yeah. And they had, like, a video thing, like a live video feed of an empty Trump podium waiting for him to come out. They could have showed, like, tons of different stuff in those, like, hour or however long it was that they just had the podium sitting there. They wouldn't switch it off.
Yeah, I mean,
that's kind of why I think he won, is because he got the most exposure.
Yeah, but you also got to think a lot of that exposure was bad exposure. It's just the Democrats kind of played it stupid, and the Democrats do kind of own CNN. CNN is a very Democratic.
I call them the Clinton News Network.
Yeah.
That's what I called them this election season, because they wouldn't stop sucking the Clintons' dicks. And clits, whatever you want to say.
They definitely played to Hillary Clinton's side. Just that they never really did anything good. They never really ran anything good on Hillary Clinton. They just ran everything bad on Donald Trump.
Bad on Trump. But some people, some crazies, as I like to call them, believed all the bad stuff he said was, like, good. So, yeah, they saw a guy who was as offensive as they are. They're like, he talks like me.
And, I mean, like, one thing I can't remember exactly who said it, but there was this stupid liberal. And, I mean, no offense against liberals, but a lot of liberals are just fucking crazy and just fucking stupid, in my eyes. And, like, he was saying trying to make a point on how Donald Trump is mentally challenged.
I wouldn't go that far.
Yeah, I mean, that's completely fucking wrong. And one other thing I hated so fucking much the Clintons trying to put out there is that Donald Trump, he's gone bankrupt 5 times. 5 of his companies have gone bankrupt. That's correct. That is a fact. but they don't say the entire fact. You also got to think he's owned over 580 different companies, and only 5 of them have gone bankrupt.
So by comparison, that's a fucking bad point.
Yeah. If you're gonna state a fact, state the entirety of the fact.
I feel like if I say anything that's almost like defending Donald Trump, some liberals would jump on me and be like, "What are you doing?
And then
Traitor!"
I don't care. Like, there's even a lot of Democrats, and I know quite a few liberals that are like, honestly, I'd rather have Trump than I would Clinton.
Lots of people felt that way. That's kind of...
I mean, the main reason I was so for Trump, like pro-Trump, is because I personally, I want to go into the Navy. I do. I want to go into the Navy and I want to go into the military, but I want to go in as like a officer. I plan on going to college for a couple of years, getting all the stuff I need to go in as an officer, and going into the Navy as an officer, like a lieutenant. And I fucking hate Hillary Clinton because of Benghazi. That was like one of my biggest points. And honestly, I do think she committed treason. I do think that is treason, what she did in Benghazi. There were multiple military groups. The Army said they could. The Marines said they could. The Marine Corps said they could. The Air Force said they could. And did I already say Navy? The Army, the Marine Corps, the Air Force, and the Navy all said they could go in there. And I'm pretty sure the CIA, like not even a mile down the road from the embassy, I'm pretty sure the CIA had like a mercenary house built, like not even a mile down the road from the embassy. And they were like, yo, we can send our mercenaries in there and stop them. And Hillary Clinton was like, no, the entire time that they were there. It was fucking...
That's enraging.
Yeah, it is enraging. I definitely do believe that is treason.
But, I mean, I've heard both sides of the Benghazi story. I heard that there was like 9 investigations done by Republican officials, and they found that she had no wrongdoing, but so did the FBI when they investigated her emails. So, I mean, Clinton's just above the law. If you're a Clinton, they'll let you get away with anything.
Yeah, I mean, fucking... Another one of my big reasons, and... I mean, I don't hate the Clintons, but I kind of do loathe them.
I'll tell you, I hate the Clintons and I hate the Trumps. And on a certain level, I hate Obama.
I hate Obama. I think Obama was stupid. I definitely think Obamacare could have done way better.
Me too.
Definitely think that
I
could
agree.
have happened. And I highly disagreed when he decided to trade terrorists for our troops back. Which I think is stupid, because a lot of the military agrees that
You didn't think that was a good way to free those guys?
No, I didn't, because I definitely think we could have sent men in there and just taken them back. We've done it on multiple occasions before. Why couldn't we do it again? And the worst part is they had, 2 of our soldiers, and we gave them back, 6 terrorists from Guantanamo Bay. For 2. When we could have just sent men in there and saved them.
Disappointing stuff. I mean, I get on Obama's ass a lot about all the drone strikes that don't hit the right people.
Yeah.
And all of the bombings and all that stuff. But I find it hilarious when people say Trump's going to stop all the interventionism. Like,
Yeah.
Obama was the big bomb dropper, but Trump's not going to be. I'm like, no, he's going to drop more. Like,
I don't
that's
know.
my prediction.
I don't think he'll drop more. I mean, I definitely think he will, he'll press down on them harder, don't get me wrong. But I definitely don't think he will send drone strikes in, every fucking, week, like Obama did.
Didn't he already send his first drone strike?
Yeah, but
He sent it, day 2?
no, I think it was day 3, but, yeah, he did send a drone strike, but also to be fair, I mean, Obama started it, in a way.
I mean, Bush started it.
Yeah, but you also gotta think, when Bush was...
Obama expanded on all the bad stuff Bush started, like the NSA.
Yeah.
And, the
I
drones.
fucking hate the NSA. I find the NSA completely fucking retarded and completely unneeded.
I don't think we need to be spying on our American citizens.
Yeah.
I don't think we need to be invading American citizens' privacy.
Yeah. I mean, how can you have freedom when there's a chance you're being watched by a fucking Pentagon by like a fucking NSA supercomputer
Right.
any second of the day. How can you call that freedom?
They say they can look at you through your TV screen.
Yeah, they not only can do that, but now they're designing infrared technology and X-ray technology in their drones, so they can fly over your house and see what you're doing through your walls. And
That's insane.
Yeah,
I'm afraid that Trump would love that.
I mean, didn't Trump say he was against the NSA?
I don't know what he said about it.
I think a couple times he was saying how he was going to take down the NSA's power. Like what?
I'd give him credit if he did.
Yeah. One thing I definitely kind of like hate about you, like, not, I don't hate it about you, but one kind of annoys me about you right now is how you're saying, like, I'm going to post everything.
I'm going to post all the bad stuff he does. Well, because I want people to know.
Yeah. You just got to think. Obama did a lot of bad shit, too. A lot of our presidents did a lot of bad shit, too.
I criticize him. I hold my elected officials accountable.
Yeah. I mean, you definitely should. It's just like...
Everybody should.
Yeah.
Because the mainstream, lamestream media doesn't tell you.
Yeah.
All the shitty stuff they do.
I mean...
Unless they're against them politically.
I mean, and I know you get annoyed by my brother Mac, but, I mean...
I do.
He, like, I can't remember exactly which video it was. I think it was something stupid on, like, chemicals you were talking about. I don't know. But, like, you made a point, like, this news channel...
Young Turks?
Yeah, like, the Young Turks have been proved wrong and have been caught lying on multiple occasions, and he was right.
They're not that credible anymore.
Yeah.
But I like them, because, like, they share my progressive views.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a guy they're associated with, Secular Talk, who's, like, more credible, I think.
Yeah.
He's better at covering just the facts.
Yeah.
So I'll share videos from him.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
I mean, like, and don't get me wrong, I don't think, like, Obama definitely wasn't our worst president ever.
Definitely not.
Definitely not. But he wasn't a good one.
I liked him better than Bush. 100%.
I don't know.
Look at what George Bush has done. I mean, I disagreed with the Iraq War. Actually, let me get into this. Like, Trump felt like the Iraq War was bad. I felt like the Iraq War was bad. There's, like, agreements happening. I agree with Mac on the Confederate flag.
Yeah.
I don't think that should be flying in front of state houses, and neither does he.
Yeah, I find that completely and utterly fucking retarded. How... I mean, they lost the war what was it, 150 years ago now?
Yeah.
So, isn't it like 152 years ago now?
Basically, wait.
Because, yeah, it ended in 1865.
Yeah.
So it's 152 years now, if I'm correct. And, yeah, the war ended 152 years ago. Just because you're fucking lazy and, yeah, just because you want slaves doesn't mean you still have the right to have a flag, like raise a flag that, I mean, fell a long time ago.
Yeah, I find it really stupid how you see that flying around in Maine.
Yeah.
I just want to agree with that person. Maine was the Union state. We were in the Union. We
were
did
like
not fight in the Confederate. It's definitely not our history.
We were literally the fucking most northernmost state at that time.
Yeah. But, like, I'm not gonna be like, you shouldn't even have it in your house. But, like, it just kind of makes me angry when I see people flying around. And I don't think it should be flying in state houses. I don't think that should be state flags anymore. Because it does get on people's nerves.
I mean, like, I remember a story I was told quite a while back, and it was like, I can't remember who it was. It was like a friend of mine's uncle, I want to say. He was in the Iraq War, and he came home because he got injured. And when he was coming home, he was driving home, and he saw a guy waving around a Confederate flag. I mean, he wasn't legitimately waving it, but he had it hanging above his house.
Mm-hmm.
And he asked them to stop the car. He walked up to the door, knocked on the door, and he was like, "Sir, they lost the war. Please take that flag down." And when the guy got angry at him since he asked him to take the flag down. He was like, I have the complete right to have this flag waving around above my house. And the guy literally just like went back and punched him right in the fucking face. He's like, that war ended so fucking long ago because you want slaves and you can't have them. And yeah, maybe you're right, but it's still fucking stupid, and it shouldn't be a thing. I really think as soon as that war ended, the Confederate flag should have just gone completely out of. I don't even fucking know.
And I mean, slavery's wrong.
I can debate against that one too. But
Really?
I mean,
You
there's
debate against owning a human being?
there's certain types of slavery I will agree with. I mean, like, for one example I do agree with is Nordic slavery. It's maybe not used now, but like way back when there were Vikings, they did use it. But what it was is if a guy was captured in a war, the guy who captured him would be able to take him home, and he would have to work for him for free, but they would have to clothe and shelter, and like make sure they weren't sick, make sure they didn't die. That was the one major thing. They didn't do their best to feed them, shelter them, and make sure they did not die. And that's what they did. And as soon as the war ended, they had to set them free.
Okay.
I agree with that slavery. I do agree with that. If you were captured during a war, and
So, prisoners of war should be put to work? Like, you should be allowed to, like, turn your prisoners of war into unpaid laborers?
yes,
Is that basically what you're saying?
yes, if you could,
That's not really slavery.
yeah, kind of is.
I mean, it is, but they're two very different things.
I mean, that's how it kind of worked. Not really, but it's like the food and sheltering thing that you had to do that to your slaves during the Civil War.
Yeah, but it's like, how'd you feel if I'm gonna feed and shelter you and make you work in the fields for me all day and whip you and rape you and all that shit? Like, it doesn't really make it better. Like, okay, I have food and a place to stay, but I'm still owned by another human being. It's like, think about that, though. It's so screwed up.
I mean, another thing I hate about liberals is they've got such, like, fine morals, if you know what I mean. Like,
Well, I mean, a lot of different people act all holier than thou, you know? Like,
Yeah.
oh, I'm better than you.
and I mean,
On both sides of the spectrum, they do that.
I mean, everybody's got morals. It just, honestly, I believe you should have morals to a point. You should be able to understand what things like mercy and, like, you should be honorable to other people.
Mm-hmm.
But I definitely think once it gets past a certain point, morals become a weakness, especially in liberals. Liberals have way too high morals to themselves.
I don't know if it's... I don't know, because I'm just, like, an empathetic person.
I'm not.
So, you know, I try to see all different perspectives. And when somebody's, like, taking the, like, short end of the stick, that's usually the person I'll root for in the situation.
I mean, like, there are definitely still, I mean, like, morals do become a weakness, and a lot of people agree with me on that. I mean, most of them would be Republicans, but still, morals do become a weakness once they get past a certain point, and yeah.
But I don't think being anti-slavery is that insane of a morality thing.
I mean, slavery's been going on for, like, look at China, for example. China had, like, their people technically aren't slaves. They're still civilians, except they barely get paid.
Right.
Barely get paid, and pretty much work for fucking free. They work for free. And what the businesses have to agree on, and this is why I'm so fucking against communism, like, yeah, we'll give you food, but it's going to be completely shitty, but it's still going to be food.
Right.
It's edible. It's not going to make you sick, and it's edible. And we're going to give you a shelter. It's probably not going to be the nicest, and it's probably not going to be anything that could, like, really withstand a lot, but it's still going to be a shelter. And the government's completely fine with that shit. They treat their own civilians as slaves.
Government doesn't care. I mean, some people say that in America we're debt slaves with all the student loan debt and all this stuff that's tying you down
fucking are.
monetarily. All that stuff is bad. But, what was I going to say? I'm just going to backtrack like 10 minutes. Another thing that makes me mad, or the main thing that makes me mad about your brother, is like his almost fundamentalist Christian views about like gay rights and all of that stuff.
And, like, abortion and stuff like that.
Yeah, it kind of just grinds my gears.
I mean...
We had like a long debate about that, and I made all my points, and then he wrote like this long message. I was like,
I mean, like, for me, I mean, yeah, I'm a Christian, but, like, and for most Christians, and this is honestly where I believe my brother kind of has a hard time, is, like, you should hate the sin and love the sinner as a Christian.
That to me sounds like a cop-out, though.
Like, you should be like, I don't, like, for example, say you committed adultery. You had sex with somebody else. Mm-hmm. It's not your significant other. And it's, like, not the person you're not married to.
Right.
And you're cheating, technically.
Right.
And, like, see, I would try to get you to not do that, but I wouldn't, like, attack you about it.
Yeah, like, but, like, somebody, if a guy loves another guy, you can't really convince him not to.
I mean, that's...
Because it's just his hormonal, like, makeup as a human being.
What I was trying to say beforehand is, like, me as a Christian, I don't exactly condone homosexuality, but I definitely think the length a lot of Christians go to, like, against homosexuality, and don't get me wrong, I mean, like I said, I do not condone homosexuality at all, being a Christian, but, I mean, like, I definitely think, my one thing is people, and I hate this with a lot of people, is people get pissed about, like, for example, I can't remember exactly when it was, but I think it was two gay men, they were getting married, mm-hmm. and they went into a bakery and they asked for a wedding cake, mm-hmm. both of them, and the people that own the bakery happened to be Christians, and they were like, since it's a homosexual marriage, I would rather not.
That makes me mad.
I would rather not bake you your wedding cake, because I'm a Christian, it's against my religion. And everybody got mad about it. They lost their business. The government was... I mean, I feel like that's definitely against the First Amendment.
You think so?
Yeah, the First Amendment is freedom of speech and religion, isn't it?
Yep.
If I'm correct, it is.
Yep.
And if part of your religious practice is, for example, not making a cake for a homosexual marriage, when they literally can go to a different fucking bakery...
That's a good point.
Just to get a cake.
That's a good point. However, it reminds me of people who, like, it makes me think about, like, put the shoe on the other foot. Like, if there was, like, a Jewish couple, and they said, like, we're not going to bake you a cake because you're Jews, or if it was, like, a black couple, and they're like, no, we're not going to, you know what I mean? And if they use the same excuse of, like, religious freedom, like, if it was a Muslim couple,
I mean...
that sounds even more like it probably has happened before, and the Christians are like, no.
I mean,
that's really
just that I would understand.
Disturbing in my
But if it's
opinion.
Completely, like, if it says, multiple times in the Bible, it talks about homosexuality and how it's a sin. But the thing is, like, for example, like you said with blacks, if somebody didn't bake a cake for two black people that were going to get married, that would understand is
like they say, like, sorry, we only serve whites here.
That should not be protected by the First Amendment.
Right.
But if it's against their religious practice, I mean, and for another example, if a Christian bakery wasn't to bake a cake, again bake a cake for a Muslim couple that were going to get married, that wouldn't. I don't think that would be protected by the First Amendment.
Well,
That
think
should be
about
protected
how
by the First
mad
Amendment.
the same people who are mad about the people who are mad about the bakery not, like people who are like, no, it's protected under the First Amendment. Think about how mad they'd be if a Christian couple went to a Muslim group of like, or a Muslim bakery, and they said they wouldn't bake. They would be pissed.
I mean,
Think about that situation.
I don't know the Quran. I'm not
And then
gonna
the
lie.
Muslim, well, it says like, the infidel is bad. The people who don't follow your religion is bad. It says that.
Yeah,
That's the Muslim belief. So they could say First Amendment.
yeah, but still, I mean, that's taking it to a large extent. I mean, that's pulling some like far out strings, guy. And honestly, I don't think if a religion isn't if a like a certain religion isn't going to do something for another religion, I definitely don't think that should be protected by the First Amendment. But if it's deliberately against their religious practice, for example, a Christian baking a cake for a homosexual marriage, that should be protected by the First Amendment.
I don't know, because it kind of seems like discrimination. I think that's the.
Don't you think it's a discrimination to completely destroy their business and destroy their lives because they didn't bake you a fucking cake?
Yeah. I don't think the situation should have played out that way. I think they just should have went to a different bakery, to be honest.
And and honestly, I mean, one thing I do hate about a lot of liberals is that their main they say it's they say a lot of things that discrimination when it's really fucking not, and a lot of it is based around Christianity. They discriminate on Christianity itself.
But you got to be honest. The Christians are the majority. They're not like a discriminated, they're not like a persecuted minority in the country.
They do make up 33% of the world's population. Yes, and I actually think it's less than that now, but I think it's more like 31% of the world's population. But Christians do get persecuted on by a lot of people. A lot. They do get persecuted, and they do get.
They do some persecuting too.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong, but still, I definitely think a lot more people persecute Christianity than Christianity persecutes.
You sure? Because the doctrine itself is discriminating almost.
Yeah, you just gotta think.
I don't even understand why God would have an issue with the gays.
Because woman was made for man and man was made for woman. It says that in the Bible.
But are you sure? Because
I mean, look at Adam and Eve, for example. Humans are supposed to repopulate.
true, which they do, because there's actually not a lot of homosexuals.
Yeah.
But it exists in nature. It's a thing that exists. Animals do it. And humans are animals. It's like God created it,
You also gotta think.
is what I would say. If I were a Christian,
You also gotta think.
I'd say that.
Animals aren't created in God's image. God created humans in His own image.
True. But
And then when Eve went and ate the forbidden fruit in the Garden of Eden and convinced Adam to do it, they were kind of kicked out of the Garden of Eden, and God made humans mortal because of it.
mm-hmm.
He said, and He even told Adam and Eve, "If you go against my rules, you will die," and they did.
See, this is interesting because you're a Christian guy, and most of the other people we know that I would have on would be atheists or agnostics like me. So we get the Christian perspective in this episode.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I just think all the ugly dads who beat their kids because they're gay and they're Christians and they're
I'm definitely against that. I mean,
they try to beat the gay out of them. or they try to like force them to like go after girls even though they don't want to.
And I mean, so like I said, I'm not condoning homosexuality here, but for example, I have quite a few friends that are homosexual and Christian, and you can still go to heaven no matter if you're a homosexual or not. You just have to repent for your sins, and you just have to follow Jesus and follow God and follow the Bible.
I don't think that,
and you have to.
The figure of Jesus would have an issue with them at all, because Jesus was the guy who spread all the love.
Yeah, and I mean that's what Christians are supposed to do. Christians are supposed to follow in Jesus' image.
But like, I don't even think they should have to feel bad for the way they are, because it's not their fault.
I don't think so too. I mean,
I don't think it should be a guilt thing.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you there. I definitely do, like...
Because the feelings are not the choice, but the actual action of doing it is the choice.
Yeah.
That's where people get mixed up. Because usually all the pastors who say, like, being gay is a choice, it's because they're closet gays, and it's a choice for them.
Yeah, I mean, like... Still... And that's not even so much true. I mean, there's a lot...
Well, I mean,
It's Catholic. A lot of Catholic priests are the ones that do that.
Well, the Catholic priests are... They're the ones with the molestation problem.
Yeah.
They're the ones with the pedophilia problem in the church, because the altar boys.
Yeah.
And, you know, they keep these dudes, like, sex-free, so you're all, like, sexually frustrated inside, but you can't show it because you're a priest, so you gotta look like you're, like... You know, I think that's where it comes from, honestly.
Yeah.
Because you're not allowed to marry.
Yeah.
You're supposed to be celibate.
Mm-hmm.
It's very interesting, the way that religions work.
I mean, I definitely believe priests should, to become priests, they should have to take, I can't exactly remember the name of the oath, but there is an oath that states that you have to stay virgin, or you'd have to stay, like, you'd be able to have sex until you're married. And I definitely think priests should have to follow that.
Mm-hmm.
And, I mean, after you get married, feel fucking free. Go ahead. I mean, it's just, there's a lot of stuff that...
But you gotta admit, everybody has premarital sex in the 21st century. Everybody. Like,
Not true.
Most people.
Most people, not all people.
As a society and as a culture, it's a glorified fucking thing.
I mean, you also gotta think...
Sex is just...
There are quite
glamorized.
There are quite a few Christians that have kept that oath and have kept themselves,
I'm sure,
pure until marriage. I mean, my brother Mac, for example, he just was still waiting until marriage.
Mm-hmm. But I think that's a dying idea in the culture, because I think the culture is getting sexualized as time goes on.
It definitely is. That's a problem. And
I think it's a problem because you have these 12-year-old girls running around wearing no clothes,
pregnant.
Yeah.
I mean, for fuck's sake. At least wait until you're, like, 16 if you're gonna have sex.
Yeah.
Anyways, to get off the topic of religion.
Yeah, well, we could switch to something else. I don't know how long this one's gonna run. We'll give it, like...
I wouldn't surprise if we went another half an hour about this.
Yeah. Me neither. It was a good conversation.
But, how about this? Back to what we were talking about. Like, was it yesterday? Import tariffs.
Yes, I wanted you to mention this on here.
Import tariffs, I definitely think we should go for. I definitely think import tariffs should be something we do. And if you don't know what an import tariff is, it's pretty much a tax on imports and exports coming in, like, going through the country. Like, for example, if China wanted to send some cars over, and this is an example, don't fucking go bullshit on me with this shit. This is an example. Say a car cost... Say each car, the Chinese one, it costs the Chinese $10 to make a car, okay? And they sell them for $15 each. And it costs maybe $2 to send them over here from China to America. I definitely think America should put an import tariff down. What an import tariff would be is it would kind of be like a tax on the import. It would be, for every car, we want you to pay, I don't know, $1.50. So Chinese would have to pay $13.50 to make and bring the car over here to sell it, and they would sell it for $15. So they're still making a profit, but they have to pay a small amount of money just to bring it into the country in the first place. And that money would go directly to the government. And the reason I'm using China as an example is because of our $18 trillion debt we're into China at the moment.
Yep.
If we put an import tariff on all of our major trade, like all the major countries we trade with, like Russia and Britain and China and Japan and places like that, if we put a small, like, maybe not small, but a reasonable import tariff on each of those countries, and for example, like with the $1.50 I was talking about, the $1.50 for the Chinese have to pay, we might take $1 from that $1.50 and we would send it right back to China to pay off the debt, while keeping the other 50 cents from that $1.50 to run our economy with. So we'd not only be making our economy stronger by getting that extra bit of money we are getting from China, but we're also paying off the debt we have with China, which will make the already fragile peace we have with Russia and China at the moment stronger. So I definitely think import tariffs would be a smart way to go for our country. And I don't see why politicians have decided not to do it. So I haven't decided to do that yet.
Yeah, neither do I. Like, what is the thing? Like, it might start a war?
Yeah, like, the only downside to it is, like, yeah, so what? China's going to get slightly angry at us, but they're probably going to be like, we're still making quite a bit of profit.
Right.
And it's not that much. It's reasonable. The one bad thing is that it might cause, like, if our piece was glass, it might cause crack.
Mm-hmm.
That's about it. That's the only downside to it. It makes the piece slightly more fragile, and as we pay China back that $18 trillion, as we start getting that through and back to them, that broken piece, that crack in the glass is just going to bend itself back up.
Makes sense to me.
It makes sense to me, too. And shout out to my brother. He was actually originally one that thought of that, Mac.
Really?
Yeah, he came up with that at first. I didn't know what import tariffs were until he told me that.
That's fucking cool. He's actually like an intelligent guy.
He's just super conservative. Super conservative.
Yeah, which lots of people would say that's an oxymoron, but I think those people are just pretentious.
Yeah, I mean, and don't get me wrong, there are a lot of Republicans, or Tea Party, the farthest you can fucking go to the right, pretty much.
Yeah.
There are a lot of Republicans that are fucking stupid. Just blatantly fucking stupid.
Well, I'll tell you, all the nominee, or, like, people who could have been nominated, including Donald Trump, are some of those people.
I mean, like, I thought
Rand Paul was the best pick out of the Republican Party.
I don't know. I think Ben Carson is definitely up there, too.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Didn't he think that, like, the pyramids were made to store grain? He thought, like, some stupid historical comment like that.
Yeah.
Like, he's not a smart guy. He's kind of a dope.
He was still, like, the best candidate, though, out of them. All of the Republican candidates were dope. I mean, look at the one that won.
Rand Paul's libertarian, though.
Yeah.
And I agree with him on some things.
I mean, I was for Gary Johnson. I was hoping honestly, I was hoping for Gary Johnson to become president. Because,
that's what Eric wanted.
Yeah.
Eric was a heavy Gary Johnson supporter after Bernie lost the nomination. He was just like, going straight to the second best.
I mean, like, I didn't agree with a lot of Bernie Sanders things.
He was my guy. I was ready.
I chose him over Hillary Clinton any time of the day. Any.
Right. I wanted to see Bernie versus Rand Paul in a debate, because that would have been cool to watch those two people.
But I definitely think Gary Johnson was the smartest. And I actually don't think he's actually a libertarian. He just went into the Libertarian Party.
He's been running as the Libertarian nominee. He did it in 2012, and I think he did it in 2008.
Yeah. I mean,
so he really is a Libertarian now. I think he was more of a Republican.
Yeah, he definitely was a Republican, but I definitely think he still is. Where is it? Was it Arizona? I think it is. He was the governor of Arizona. I can't remember.
I think so, yeah. Tell you who I would want to run as a libertarian, Jesse Ventura.
That would be cool. That would definitely be cool.
Because I like his ideas.
Yeah.
And he's a veteran.
Yeah.
He was a Navy SEAL.
Yeah. It's just, I mean, there are quite a few, and I hate how most people can go for, like, try to become president. It's just stupid. We have a lot of stupid people that try to become president.
Yep.
And a lot of stupid people do become president.
Yep.
I mean, Bush was relatively dumb.
Yep. He could barely speak in sentences. He could barely read his teleprompter.
Obama was dumb.
Well, I mean, Obama, at least he was a good speaker.
Yeah. And then Trump is dumb. Hillary was dumb. Hillary's a fucking moron.
I don't think Obama was that stupid. I just think
He made a lot of bad choices, and he was kind of stupid.
I just think he made stupid decisions in some cases.
And, like, the reason I say he's stupid is because in the beginning he did, like, he thought the Senate wouldn't be much of a thing for him. He would just be able to put laws in.
Well, I tell you what happened. I mentioned this in the last episode. The second he got into office, all the Republicans in the Senate and the House were like, "We will block everything he tries to do."
Like what the Democrats and the liberals are doing now.
Yeah, I compare it to the march.
Yeah.
Because it's kind of the same type of thing. Like, the second they get into office, outrage. Like,
I mean,
why?
At least the Republicans, like, didn't fucking riot like a lot of the liberals are doing now.
I mean, actually, I read up on this. So I think it was Casey shared an article on Facebook, and it said, like, this is not the first time we've seen riots after a president was elected. There was actually a couple of hate crimes done, I think. Someone was like, yeah, the N-word president, and they, like, beat up like a black woman, I think.
Yeah, but like I said,
there were minute, well, not minute, because it's a big deal, but, like, in comparison to the march, there were, like, small disturbances that happened.
But like I said, those guys weren't Republicans. Those were Tea Party.
Tea Party dudes are Republicans, though. If you ask them, they'd be like, yeah, Republican, because they vote Republican every time, you know?
Yeah, but you also gotta think, the Tea Party is, like,
it's not
extreme Republican.
It's not a separate party.
Republican.
They are,
I count it as a separate party.
They are the partisan extremists, though. Like, but that's a different story, because you have the Republicans who feel that way, and it's kind of like a meter.
Yeah.
And then you have the Democrats, where it's sort of like a two-sided coin, where you have corporatists and, like, real progressives. Like, Hillary Clinton represented the corporatists. Bernie was more the real dude. So, it's kind of like more complicated than people think.
I mean, the main reason I wasn't for Bernie is because he was a socialist, and I don't agree with socialism at all.
Well, democratic socialist.
Yeah.
Mixture of capitalism and socialism. That's actually...
You can't have that, though.
We already kind of do.
Adding democratic to socialist just... it's stupid.
We kind of do right now, you know
Democratic socialist is a socialist.
Because the building we're in right now, we don't have to pay for to go.
Yeah.
It's tax dollar paid for. That's socialism.
Yeah, you also got to think the majority, like the actual government itself, not counting fucking schools, isn't socialist. And it makes sense for our parents to pay taxes and have some of that go to our education.
Mm-hmm.
You can't tell me that doesn't make sense.
No, I'm for it. I'm just saying it's socialism.
Yeah.
It's a socialist policy. Everything like you pay for with taxes nowadays is kind of a socialist concept. Yeah. Bernie was just saying we need a little bit more of that to help the people. Yeah. But somebody made this point, I think it was Joe Rogan, he said, like, the only issue with Bernie was all the taxation. Like, you can't tax people that much. And then he had, like, this genius point that I'm forgetting of, like, how to get more money out of people.
Yeah.
And into the system.
I mean, I don't think the way I think
without taxing, like, the middle class that much.
The way I think we should definitely put more money into our economy isn't by adding more to our taxes, but by putting import tariffs in. Like I was saying, if we put just a little bit of the extra money we're getting from import tariffs into our economy, we could lower taxes. First off, we could still run our economy quite well, and we would be making so much money,
Yeah.
and it would create so much more jobs too.
We'd be able to pay off our debts too.
It would create so much more jobs, and here's one of the most beautiful parts about import tariffs, is if we put enough import tariffs in, and it'll make a lot of companies that moved from America over to places like China come back, because they don't want to pay the extra.
That would be beautiful.
That they wouldn't want to pay the extra $1.50 to have stuff imported into the country that's made over in China. Instead, yeah, it may cost you $10 to make the car in China, but it will cost you $12 to make it here. You're still making $3 of profit from making it over here without the transport. You're still making $3 of profit from having it over here instead of the $1.50 you'd be making in China. So it would convince companies to come back, which would create more jobs too.
I don't know how Bernie feels about import tariffs. Holy fuck, that music is loud.
Yeah, it is.
Speaking of music, you want to switch?
But I'm having so much fun debating about politics.
You want to switch topics,
Yeah.
or you want to have this whole hour and however long of just political talk?
I mean, yeah, let's go to music for a little while,
Okay.
because let's get off the topic of religion and politics.
Well, let's talk about. Want to talk about our bands?
Yeah, why don't we talk about our bands? That'd be cool.
I want you to just go.
Why me first?
Because I don't know, because it's going to take my band a while.
I mean, my band is named Insanity's Faithful. We're just writing songs right now. We're putting so much into writing songs. We're trying to find times where we can just get together, chill out, talk about music. If not, write some more and actually play some music. Because that's the one bad thing. That's the one hard thing we have with our band right now. Is like we can never find time to practice because we're just so busy with school, which sucks. It really
does.
But we still have 3 out of the 5 people in our band we have right now writing music all the fucking time. Whenever we have spare time, we're writing music or practicing.
Wait a second, who do you have confirmed members?
We have Eli, Isaiah Thornton, Chance, me. Oh, we had one more. I mean, the last one's not quite a confirmed member. We also have Christian Powell.
Oh, do you think
he's a
he will?
maybe? He's a maybe. He was talking to me about it. He was like, if you really need one, I can probably help you.
What would he do? Guitars?
Yeah, he plays guitar like a fucking god.
Yeah, he does. He's really good.
He plays guitar really good, and I kind of have Christian Powell for guitar, but I also kind of have Aaron Ladd for guitar. Who Aaron Ladd actually doesn't go to the school. He has actually graduated, but Ryan Ladd's big brother.
Yeah. He's a cool guy.
Yeah, he's a pretty chill guy. I mean, yeah, we're metal. It's probably going to be thrash metal. I don't even know how to describe our band at the moment. But
Me neither.
like, yeah, Insanity's Faithful, I definitely think. I don't know if we'll get big. I hope we do. That would be awesome. It would be really fun to get big. I want to get big, but I don't know if we actually will. I do want to do a couple concerts here. I
want to do some concerts in this fucking room.
Yeah, this auditorium here. The auditorium we're in right now, I want to do a concert.
Because
wanna do a
holy
gig.
shit, like, my band is going to be so theatrical, and, like, I feel like I have that enigmatic frontman personality.
Yeah.
While I can just be jumping around the stage, fucking screaming my head off.
I mean, I'm kind of like that too. It's just, I have a broken toe right now, so it's not
Right.
that wouldn't be something I'd do at the moment.
But, like, dude.
I'd be the type of person that would be like running all around, stepping on top of the amps, running across the amps, and doing shit.
I'm
like that.
hungry to play
Right.
music for people in front of me. Like, and, like, you're going to do masks?
Yeah.
Are you going to do, like, costumes, too?
Yeah, probably.
We're going to do makeup.
Yeah.
Makeup and face paint and all that stuff.
Dude, that'd be fucking chill.
So, like, you got 2, like, theatrical bands. We could both play, like, right here. But I think you have to rent out the auditorium.
Probably. Unless we could, I mean, since we go to the school, we could probably talk to Gilbert and the superintendent
Talk to
about it.
Gilbert, probably have to talk to...
Because if we're doing it for, like, if we put some of the proceeds into the school, we give some of the proceeds from the show into the school.
Right. Make it like a school event.
Yeah.
We should try to do that once our bands have, like, songs done.
Yeah. Like, maybe, like, after, like, a play or some shit.
Yeah.
Like, we could, like, play...
After... Wait a second. If we, like, go really fast, we could do it this spring musical.
Yeah. We could do it... We
If
could,
we,
like,
like...
play with the fucking musical guy. That'd be cool.
Dude, that'd be sweet. I just need a bass player.
Dude, I mean...
Because I don't want to have to play bass and sing at once.
Like, how fast, like, is your bass, like, the way you, like, your music gonna go is, like, the bass gonna be, like, fast, like, hard and fast?
Not always.
Because
Not always.
I know, I mean, Isaiah isn't the best bass player, but I know he can play it, like, play bass if it's, like, not super fast, if it's not, like, ridiculous.
Well, it's, like, kind of doom metal, like, Black Sabbath influenced.
Yeah. So it's gonna be, like...
It's gonna be, like,
it's gonna be
slow,
shredded guitar, but, like, slower bass.
slow and haunting.
Yeah. I know, I'm pretty sure Isaiah can do that, so, I mean, I could probably talk to Isaiah about it. If you guys need to play, and you don't have a bass player, by the time you do your first gig, then he'll probably do it with you guys.
I mean, I got so many influences. Like, once we actually put down an album, and, like, get an album recorded, it's gonna be so diverse. Like, each song is gonna bring something different.
Yeah,
But
I mean...
my band is called Sinners Unite. I have lyrics finished for an album, and my guitarist Garrett Blodgett and I are like the main songwriters, and we've been piecing stuff together since last summer. So
Yeah. I mean, I tried to get into his band before I decided to start my own. He was like, nah. Yeah.
well, I mean, I'm the singer.
Yeah. I mean, if I was to join your band, I was completely planning on being the backup vocalist.
Yeah.
I would have been the guy in the background doing screams. Or, like, the secondary vocalist. Because I can't really play any instruments.
I mean, since you guys are gonna have, like, scheduled rehearsals instead of doing what Garrett and I do, or just, like,
Yeah.
when we decide or when we have ideas, we just put them down on paper or record them on our
Yeah.
phones. When you guys have, like, set rehearsals, I want to come.
Yeah.
Because I want to be front seat
Yeah.
viewing the creative process of this.
Yeah. I mean, dude, I definitely think it would be cool, like, if, like, next time, like, whenever you and Garrett kind of just chill out, too.
Yeah.
Like, maybe I can come for a couple
Yeah.
times. Be like, see how you guys do shit. That'd be cool.
See how we get it done. There's
Yeah.
actually already been a couple arguments about riffs that
Yeah.
we've had. Where, like, I wrote something,
Okay.
he's like, it sounds horrible. I'm like, but it's supposed to be, like, mixed in with the drums and, like, We've already had, like, those
I mean,
stereotypical band arguments.
Yeah, if you know, if you need somebody to step in and be like, bro, I think this guy's right.
I just don't want it to turn out like
Yeah.
some of those bands where the guys end up breaking up because they keep arguing about songs.
Yeah, and I mean, that's where, like, if you need me to step in on that shit, just let me know, guy.
Okay.
Like, even if it's, like, over the fucking phone.
Yeah.
You guys, you guys are, like, hanging out and you guys get into an argument, you, like, fucking call me.
Be like, Nick, how does this sound? You think this is bullshit or what?
You think this is, like, shitty, or does it sound good? You guys, like, play a fucking riff. And I'm like, that kind of sounds shitty.
But my question would be, who the fuck, if we did a show here, who would play first?
I mean, I don't know. I mean, I definitely think we're going to put out an album first before you guys.
I agree.
And I definitely think if you're probably gonna open for us, if anything, since we're gonna have the album out, and it will work good for you because it'd be like, this is what's going to be what we've played. Some of what we played here is going to be on our album we're about to put out. So you'd allow people to get a taste of what your music is like.
Yeah, when we do shows,
put the album out.
we're gonna do shows before the album's released, so that we get people to actually buy
Yeah,
it.
same thing. I mean, like, that's the thing. If you opened up for a band, I mean, I think it was Kiss to Blue Oyster Cult. Kiss, like, what they did before they put out I think it was before they put out their first album. It might have been after. But they got the attention of Blue Oyster Cult, and Blue Oyster Cult was like, you guys want to open for us? And, like, and Kiss was like, no fucking way, yeah, we want to. So they go and they open for Blue Oyster Cult, and they sounded better than Blue Oyster Cult.
Yeah, that tends to happen with bands who, like,
And,
get
like,
noticed because they were opening acts.
Yeah, and, like, they opened up and they played really fucking good. And the same exact day of the next year, Blue Oyster Cult was opening up for Kiss.
Fuck yeah.
And I found that really fucking cool, and I honestly definitely think something like that could happen with your band. But I really...
if we opened for, like Vanna.
Yeah, I would want to open for Vanna. If we could open for Vanna, that would be fucking beautiful.
I play, you play.
Yeah.
Cover One Eye or something plays, and then you have Vanna up there.
Yeah.
That would be an awesome show.
Yeah,
I love those bands. I love Cover One Eye. They're making an album with Davey right now.
Yeah.
Hunter sent me a clip of the, like, studio cut demo of one of the singles.
Yeah.
It's going to be on the album. It sounds so epic. It's on my computer. Like, I'm excited. I'm actually legit excited for that.
You should, like, fucking put that on, like, a fucking hard drive and, like, let me borrow it, because I want to fucking listen to that shit.
Hell yeah. It's like, the riffing is kind of soft, but there's, like, screams, and there's gang vocals where they all get on a mic and they start screaming in your face. It's like, yes.
Sounds good. Oh, but, dude, like, I definitely think it would be cool to have, like, and, dude, it'd probably alternate between shows. Like, you would have a main gig, and then I would my band would open up for you. And then we'd have a main gig, and then you'd open up for us.
We're gonna do a couple cover songs.
Yeah.
Garrett really loves System of a Down, so do
I'm
I.
not a big fan of System.
So we're gonna do Sugar by System of a Down.
I mean, I want to do Don't Fear the Reaper for one of
Yeah.
my covers. I want to do, like, a screamo version of Don't Fear the Reaper. I definitely think that would be cool, and I do want to do, if the people who listen to this know who Ice Nine Kills is, I know you do because I showed you them.
Mm-hmm.
I want to do Bloodbath, and I want to do a cover of Bloodbath and Beyond by Ice Nine Kills. I definitely think that'd be really cool too. I do want to get a female vocalist as well. I really do want a female vocalist.
That was my original plan.
I want to get a female vocalist who can, like, she'd mainly sing, because I'm not the best at singing.
Mm-hmm.
She'd mainly sing, but, like, I'd probably have her at times do, like, a fucking, like, high-pitched scream, some shit.
I'll tell you something right now, it's a good asset to have, like, two different perspectives in a song, but
Yeah.
holy shit, it's kind of a drag to write. Sorry. Garrett just called me, so...
Fucking damn it.
Anyway. What was I saying? Writing lyrics for other people's drag?
Yeah.
So you might just want to, like, write together.
Yeah, I mean...
Whoever writes the lyrics. I think Chance writes the lyrics.
Yeah, like, I mean, I write, like, a couple songs. I mean, I don't write nearly as fast as Chance does. You also gotta think, Chance usually only writes when he's, like, high as balls.
Yeah.
And,
That's a lot of different people.
yeah, like, he can, like, fucking pump out songs like a fucking...
Anyway, we got, like 20 minutes left?
Yeah, probably say 20 minutes, 25 minutes. But what were we saying?
Talking about how Chance writes lyrics.
Yeah, oh yeah. Fucking, what's probably going to be the backup vocalist, my friend Chance, he writes quite a lot of lyrics. He usually does when he's stoned. Usually. Yeah, he, share a very similar music taste, and he does write a lot of the music, but, like, the good thing about him is he has me, like, edit a lot of the songs, too, because he was stoned off his balls when he writes them, so he has me edit a lot of them, and so I get to put my, like, 2 cents into them and put some of my own lyrics into them, change them up a little bit. And I definitely think that's cool. Like, one of the first songs he ever wrote, and he actually had me, well, not the first songs he ever wrote, but one of the first songs he ever wrote for the band, which is probably a better way I should say it.
Which one's that?
It's called The Snakes of the Earth, and it's about,
yeah.
It's about, like, politicians
Yeah.
and lawyers and shit. And Um, it's really good, and it was originally called the Scum of the Earth, but I had them changed to the Snakes of the Earth because it sounds better and it makes more sense.
I mean, that's single material.
Yeah, it's probably going to be our single on our first album. Which, little leak, it's probably going to be named A Key to Insanity.
That's a good name for it. How many songs are you looking at for that?
Probably 6.
So it's like an EP?
Yeah, 6, 7, or 8. It's either going to be like a really small LP or it's going to be a really big EP.
See, I wrote 15 songs for the first Synergy Night album.
Yeah.
And you have that and you have cover songs. So we're going to have a lot of material to switch up our live show.
Yeah. I mean, I definitely think, like, we have so much material right now that we're probably, like, our second album is going to probably come out real quick after the first one.
I want to be on it.
Yeah.
I want to be on the...
Yeah, and I want to be on one of your albums, but you're probably
LP.
not going to fucking put me on it, because you're an ass.
Possibly.
But, yeah, I mean, you'll probably be on the second album.
Yeah. It would be like when Korn and Corey Taylor teamed up on this recent Korn album.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely want to write, like, there's a song I've been itching to make, and it's going to probably be on the second album. It's going to be about Romeo and Juliet, and I'm probably going to write a few songs based off Shakespeare, like
yeah, do that. Do some old literature stuff.
Yeah, and it's like, probably going to be based on that, and, like, there's going to be a part where a guy that's, like, dressed up as, like, Death is going to be screaming in it, and it's going to be Death screaming. Because it's going to be, like, we're going to tell the story in, like, a metal way. And it's going to be after, Romeo drinks the poison and Juliet stabs herself, I think it is.
Yep.
Not sure. But, after that happens, Death's going to come in and just start fucking screaming. And I'm probably going to have you do that part, but...
Fuck, yeah, I'll do that. You're going to need your female vocalist for that song.
Yeah.
Is that going to be Sierra?
I don't know. I want to get Sierra, because I know Sierra can fucking scream, but I don't know if Sierra
she'd be a good asset for you.
Yeah. Gary John... What?
We have a group chat called New Meme Order. It's Gabe.
That's fucking retarded.
Gabe is Gary Johnson.
Fucking retarded.
I'm Jesse Ventura.
You would be.
Zach is Alex Jones.
What is this? Just like a bunch of people from like our fucking history class.
Kind of. The other
You
people
better
who
add
are in
me
it
to
is
the shit.
Aaron and Kat. It's like our little like friend group.
Better add me to the shit so I can just be like, you guys are fucking retarded.
I wouldn't want anybody to get salty.
But that is kind of stupid, guy. Anyways, I
New
mean,
Meme Order.
back to the music. I definitely think it would be cool to have you come and like scream for Death, and I do want to get a female voice in there, a female screamer, because I'd probably do scream Romeo, the female screamer, do Juliet, and then you scream Death.
Mm-hmm.
Probably gonna be like 5 different fucking voices.
That'd be so
Screaming
epic. If we do it right, it would be so fucking awesome.
See, I haven't read Romeo and Juliet in forever, so I'd probably have to bring in I'd probably have to like go to like one of my English teachers and fucking
And be like, tell me the details of this situation.
just be like, give me
Miss Simmons could probably tell you.
give me a short version of Romeo and Juliet.
Miss Dowdy would definitely just be able to
Yeah.
rattle it off straight out of her brain.
Probably.
She's like a
She's a Shakespearean. fangirl.
Shakespearean. Yeah.
Yeah. If there's one Shakespeare story, like Shakespeare play, I don't like, it's Macbeth.
And you don't like Macbeth? I was about to suggest that you should make a song about
I
Macbeth.
I will, but I don't like Macbeth for the one reason, because, I mean, I love creative writing, love it with a passion. I mean, he fucking hates it when I write with him, but...
I don't hate it. I enjoyed myself, but it was just the correcting.
Yeah.
The editing was tedious.
Yeah. But, like, I hated Macbeth because it showed me that death, like, killing and death can be tedious in a story.
Yep. Sure can. It's kind of slow towards the end.
Yeah.
It's like tick-tock, tick-tock.
Oh,
But, I
another
mean,
person's dead.
I like the way that Macbeth is, like,
It's a good story. I just don't like it for that main
I like
reason.
Legere, and I like all the characters,
Yeah.
and I like all the shit about his wife going crazy, and then
Yeah.
he goes crazy. It's cool.
I also like a Midsummer's Night's Dream. That's fucking hilarious.
Mm-hmm.
Most-
That's one of the comedies.
Yeah. Most people don't even fucking understand that shit. You have to actually be able to, like, understand Shakespearean English to
Think it's funny, because the
Yeah.
humor's old.
Yeah, the humor's really old.
Okay, so my mom is probably going to pick me up. So I think we should cut it off here. We've been talking for like
An hour.
an hour and a half.
No, probably more like an hour and like 11, 12 minutes. Because
That's a good episode
Yeah.
length.
Yeah.
So we're going to see you guys next time.
Yeah.
Probably won't be him on the show. I might be alone. We'll see.
Better come back sometime.
Yeah, we're going to have you on.
Quite a few times, I hope.
I don't want to do a show with like multiple guests. We have like
Yeah.
3 people. Different perspectives. But anyway, we're going to sign off now. Goodbye.
Yep.